The first wave lasted 17 minutes. From the moment the sky tore open with a sound like shattering glass, to the final, deafening silence, it was 17 minutes of fire and screaming. Leo huddled in the basement of a ruined library, the scent of ozone and burnt paper thick in the air. He'd seen the beams of cold, blue light sweep the streets, disintegrating everything they touched, buildings, cars, people. Not a conquest, he thought, clutching a broken piece of shelving like a weapon. An erasure. For 3 days, he moved like a ghost through the skeletal remains of the city. The invaders were sleek, silent, moving with a grace that felt alien in the rubble. He avoided their patrols, driven by a single primal goal: survive. He didn't know why. There was nothing left to survive for. On the 4th day, they found him, cornered in the hollowed-out shell of a cathedral. A patrol of 3 closed in. He raised his makeshift club, a final, futile act of defiance. 2 of them leveled their weapons, devices that hummed with a lethal energy. The third, taller and more slender, held up a hand. A gesture. The others lowered their weapons and melted back into the shadows. She stood before him, her form encased in a suit of iridescent, shifting material that seemed to drink the dim light. Her face was obscured by a smooth, featureless helm. Leo braced for the killing beam. It didn't come. Instead, the helm retracted, flowing back like liquid mercury. He expected a monster, something with too many eyes or serrated teeth. Instead, he saw a face of startling, if utterly alien, elegance. High cheekbones, skin the color of a twilight sky, large eyes that held not the cold void of space but a deep, swirling silver like molten mercury. She studied him, her head tilted. "You are Leo," she said. Her voice was not heard but felt, a vibration in his very bones, translated by some technology he couldn't comprehend. The sound was soft, melodic, and utterly terrifying in its precision. He could only nod, his throat tight. "I am Alara," the vibration continued. "We are not here to erase you, Leo." "Could have fooled me," he croaked, gesturing vaguely at the destruction beyond the shattered rose window. "The first wave was a surgical strike, a cessation of your global conflict systems. Your governments were hours from a full-scale nuclear exchange. Billions would have perished in the fire, billions more in the winter that followed. You were on the cusp of rendering your own planet sterile." Leo stared. The news reports in the days before the invasion had been a frantic drumbeat of escalation, of treaties crumbling. He hadn't let himself believe it. "You stopped our war. We halted the mechanism. The actors remain. The impulse remains. Your species possesses a profound capacity for creation and a terrifying talent for annihilation. The two are intertwined in your psyche in a way we have rarely observed." Ilara took a step closer, her silver eyes fixed on him. "Our mission is not conquest, it is intervention, a final assessment." "Assessment for what?" "To determine if the creative spark justifies the destructive risk. To see if humanity is worth preserving, or if your path leads only to one end. Self-extinction, taking your beautiful world with you." Ilara did not take him prisoner. Instead, she followed him. As Leo scavenged for canned food in a shattered supermarket, she asked why he chose the peaches over the beans. As he carefully bandaged a cut on his hand with a torn strip of cloth, she inquired about the concept of pain and care. When he found a small, shivering dog trapped under debris and spent an hour freeing it, sharing his meager water, she watched in utter silence. He became her living case study. She questioned him about his childhood, his regrets, his hope, a concept she found particularly fascinating and elusive. He spoke of his sister, lost in the first wave, his voice breaking. Ilara observed the tears tracking through the grime on his face, her head tilted again, as if trying to decode a complex equation. "This grief," she vibrated softly, "it is a form of love, yes. A continuation of the bond beyond physical presence." "Yes," Leo whispered. "And the anger you feel at her loss, the desire for vengeance against us." "That too. One emotion fuels protection, the other destruction, both from the same source." She seemed almost troubled. "A volatile chemistry. One afternoon, a patrol of her kind, not her own, found them. Their leader, his helm sealed, issued a sharp, discordant vibration. The survey of this sector is complete. The subject is to be processed for final analysis." Ilara stepped between Leo and the patrol. "This subject is under my direct observation. His analysis is ongoing. The data from this region is conclusive. The dominant behaviors are tribalism, resource hoarding, and violence. The probability of continued self-destructive pathways is 94.3%. The judgment is clear." The alien weapon hummed to life, aimed at Leo. Leo saw it then in her swirling silver eyes, not just calculation but conflict. She had witnessed his small acts of kindness in the vast desert of despair. She had felt the heat of his anger and the cold ache of his sorrow. In him, she hadn't just seen data points. She had seen the chaotic, beautiful, terrible contradiction that was a human being. She had seen a man who, in the face of oblivion, freed a trapped animal. She had seen proof. Ilara's hand moved, not toward a weapon, but in a broad, sweeping gesture. A shimmering field of energy erupted from her suit, a dome of rippling light that sealed her and Leo inside, separating them from the patrol. "What are you doing?" Leo breathed. "Introducing an anomaly into the calculation." Her vibration resonated within the protective bubble, a private frequency just for him. "Your species judges itself in extremes, saints, or monsters. We made the same error. We looked at your wars and saw only the monster. I looked at you, Leo, and I saw the struggle, the choice. Every day, in 1,000 small ways, you choose between building and breaking. You are not a finished judgment. You are a question." Outside the dome, the other aliens pulsed with agitated light. Ilara turned her back to them, facing Leo fully. "My mission was to observe and report, to provide data for the final verdict on humanity." Her silver eyes held his. "But a scientist who interferes with her experiment invalidates the results. I am no longer an impartial observer. I have become invested." The implications crashed over him. She was defying her own people, her own mission, for him. For a concept, the potential she saw in a single, flawed man. "They'll condemn you," he said. "They will," she agreed, the vibration carrying a strange, serene certainty. "But a verdict based on incomplete data is no verdict at all. They saw a species ready to burn itself out. I have seen a survivor who, when offered only